This is my dad, and I'm going to be interviewing him on his mission trip to Haiti. So, how was it when you went down
Um, Utter devastation. We were on the ground probably about 72 hours to 4 days after the initial earthquake. We were still experiencing magnitude 4 or 5 aftershocks when we were down there. So it was a lot of rubble everywhere. We had to go in through the Dominican Republic actually and go across country because none of the roads were clear and the towers were down at the airport, so we really couldn't get in. So we just went into Santo Domingo and flew into there, and then just took a bus and a couple of trucks across country and staged out right there at the Dominican Haitian border until we could get the roads clear enough to actually take trucks into Port-au-Prince.
Was it hard to see all the damage?
It was. It was very hard to see all the damage. I mean, these are people just like me and you are. They're moms and dads and their kids, and they go to school and have lives, and their lives had been traumatically disrupted. They had lost everything they had. Most of them had lost a loved one. It was just it was a gut-wrenching time to see all of the heartache. It was
Did you make a good relationship with anyone while you were down there?
Oh yeah, we had great relationships. There were lots of other missionaries down there. There were lots of servicemen down there from the National Guard. There were some rangers camped out right down the road from where we were. They had built a camp. It was just a really good time. We were medevacing people back and forth to a little hospital in Yamani, which is actually right over the border in Dominica. So yeah, it was, you eat with these guys, you're out in the field with these guys, and doctors, we just were, everybody was just moving and doing what they were good at. So we formed a lot of lifelong friendships, a lot with Americans like me, a lot with Brits, like I say, servicemen, but also with indigenous that were down there. I can remember Ricardo and Wadzi. They were just two young guys that were looking for work, and we hired them as translators. They could speak a little English and Creole, so we hired them to go with us, and they helped us find our way around. They introduced us to local pastors, local doctors, and really helped us identify where we needed to work for the first few days.
Was it hard to leave after you'd made good relationships?
Oh yeah, it was hard. I worked in Haiti for almost I think it was 14 months altogether, and I was down there at least one week a month, if not more times during the month. So it was, and I got used to seeing these people. They would meet me at the airport. I went to their homes and had meals with them when I was in the field. It was just like an extended family, and because I would call you guys every night on the sat phone or on my personal phone once we got lines up, but it's just it was hard to leave and to turn it over. That's my job, is to get things back up to normal and then turn it back over to the indigenous so that they can go back to doing what they do and living their lives. And it was really hard to turn that operation back over to our Haitian graduates because so much of my heart is still in Haiti. That's why we finished up a Haitian field study 2 weeks ago, and I got to see some of my old friends back on campus again. And you tell old stories and you ask how people are. So yeah, it's a lot of relationships, and it's really hard to leave. I don't know if you ever do leave.
Do you have any really funny stories or cool stories that you like to share?
I don't know about cool stories. There's a lot of gut-wrenching stories that are just really heavy because of the amount of devastation and the amount of turmoil that was caused by that earthquake and in that environment. I think one of the more humorous stories was they had these big cisterns, and these cisterns are actually up under the houses. The houses are built up, so it'd be like some houses have a garage under them, they'll have a cistern under them, and this orphanage was built on one of these cisterns. And I went out, it was in Jockmail, and I went down there, and the roads were open, so I hitched a ride one night, and we went down there. And next morning we got up, and the house had kind of settled, but it was still holding water. They were still holding probably about 6,000 to 8,000 gallons in this 10,000 gallon cistern, and it was built up in concrete with a little hatch. And of course I put up my chlorine generator, and we were working, and I could never get my chlorine level to hold. And it wouldn't. It's like, you know, it's like, man, this is some really dirty water. And I was looking at some tests, and I was running tests, and I was trying to get this water clean. And we were looking at it, and I finally told some of the guys I was with, I said, man, I was going to go down there and see what can possibly be in this water that's sucking up all this chlorine. What can be making it so dirty that it's not? So I kind of just stripped down to my drawers and put my headlight on, and I go down in that little hatch. It kind of looks like what you get into an attic with, except it's just a hatch you open up. And I'm swimming around in there and everything, and I notice the smell automatically when I get down in there. It's like, oh my God. And here comes this little dead dog. He's floating by. And I'm like, that's what's sucking up my chlorine. So I grab him, pull him, and drag him back out. And once we got the dead dog out and shocked it 3 or 4 more times and just recircled the water, and I added a lot more chlorine, it actually got clean enough to use. And I drank it for a couple more days and never got sick. So I guess the chlorine generator did what it's supposed to do.
What all did you do, like, when you were down there?
In the initial days, I went down there specifically to give clean water. That's what I specialize in with my job. But one of the things I specialize in with my job. But along the way, when we first got in, we just could not get in. There was too much rubble on the roads. Port-au-Prince wasn't open at all. So while they were working on the roads, these teams were medevacing to Umani, and they would just take Robertson Bell, which you can't haul a lot of people on Robertson Bell, and then the Navy showed up, and a few other folks showed up, and they were actually taking Seahawks, which is a Black Hawk that's for the Navy, and they were flying these helicopters in. So we unloaded hurt people, just people that had been crushed by blocks, buildings, just severe needs. We triaged for the first 3 days and pulled people off helicopters, got them into Umani, got them hooked up to some meds, and actually, you know, started setting bones and things like that. After they got the roads open, we got in, and what we were doing was linking up with local pastors and schools, orphanages, anywhere that people were normally gathering. What we would do is they had zero infrastructure, so we would overlay that infrastructure and put in these chlorine generators. They actually make chlorine gas, so you can infuse water. They'll make water for about 10,000 people a day if you got the inflow of water. So we would go into churches, we would go into orphanages, anywhere, hospitals, and everywhere we would set one of these up, we would get enough clean water on hand and put it in huge tanks, about 500 gallons at the least. And we would set up a medical triage clinic, and that's where UAB and Auburn University nurses, we would fly down with them. We would send 11 of them, and I would be the 12th on a plane. We would fly down, and we start setting up mounts and making water, then medical would come in, then water, and then medical, and we just created an infrastructure and overlaid the whole island. So we worked from north to the south, and then we attacked the peninsula with Jacmel, Jeremy, and Lakai on the south end.
Were you ever scared?
Yeah, I was scared to death because I don't have any special skills. I mean, other than I'm just a normal guy. And I realized really quickly that it was not me, it was God. I was just a normal guy that had found himself in an extraordinary situation. And I knew I wasn't smart enough to fix this problem at all. I knew that I was really going to have to lean on a lot of the, I was going to have to lean on God, number one, but a lot of the prayers for Haiti and for me and for our teams that were going down. That's what really kept us going, because, you know, like I say, there's nothing special about me. There's something pretty special about what I do because of the way God blesses it. But, you know, it's nothing that anybody else can't do. So, yeah, I was scared to death that I would not be able to do what God had called me to do. I was afraid that I couldn't do what all these people were depending on me to do. I was afraid that the equipment wouldn't work. When people get tense and get a little antsy sometimes, sometimes their anger overflows because food wasn't flowing like it should, water wasn't flowing like it should, so we saw food riots, we saw some pretty sketchy situations, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I was very scared.
Was it amazing to see how much you had helped?
I'm sorry?
Was it amazing to see how much you'd helped?
I don't think it was amazing to see how much I had helped. I think it was amazing to see how much everyone had helped. You know, it was just, you know, I'm just one guy. That's all I am. I'm one man. But seeing what, you know, God bringing my talents to the table, and nurses from UAB and doctors like Clint Doran, from a heart surgeon from out in Texas, and all these doctors that came in from Huntsville and all over the Southeast, and really all over. We had guys that were coming in from up north, New York. They were flying in just to work with us. And it's just amazing to watch that patchwork of what happens when you see what people can do when they band together and everybody plays to their talent and everybody does the best that they can to back up somebody else's talent. So, you know, I don't know anything about medicine, but being able to say, you know, I don't know anything about medicine, but I can help you carry this person somewhere to where they can get the medical treatment. And a nurse saying, you know, I don't know anything about a chlorine generator, but I can pick up this box and help you put it on the back of the truck. You know, that's the kind of camaraderie that you build, and I was just amazed to see what God can put together when all the pieces of the puzzle that He's trying to form, it just forms a beautiful mosaic of life. When everybody does what they can do really well and just puts me aside and puts others first. That's the key. It's not what I think I bring to the table or what you bring to the table. It's what we bring to the table. And what can we do together to make this a better situation? Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.